All right, with that, I think we can start, guys. We've given everyone a couple of minutes to join us. So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mai, and I'm an advisor here at Nexford University. I've been with Nexford for going on almost 3 years now. And during that time, I've spoken with so many learners around the world, such as those currently joining us today. And during my time, I think one of the most common questions I get is, how exactly will I be studying online at Nexford? You know, you may have tried an online experience before. It may be your first time. Definitely the learning experiences at Nexford, I think, is quite different than any you might have even tried before or heard about before. And that's exactly why we're here today, is to show you how the learning experience is going to be like. I have some amazing people with me today. I have a faculty member with me, Dr. Bill Reid. I also have Tarshi Jaga, who's based in Switzerland, a BBA learner. I also have Henry Fimibama, who's currently based in Canada, MBA learner. So I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves. If we can please start with Dr. Bill, let us also know what you're currently teaching at Nexford.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'm Dr. Bill. I live about 100 kilometers south of New York City, and I have been with Nexford just coming up on 2 years now, although I've been in online education for over 20. I enjoy working with this group, particularly at Nexford, because of the international flavor to it. As you can see, we've got people from all over the world, and it's the one place where I get to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening and be right with everyone. So I look forward to talking with you today, and ultimately maybe in the classrooms as well. So thank you, May.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Bill. All right, Tarshi, if you can please also tell us a bit about yourself and what you're studying at Nexford.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, May. So my name is Tarshi. I'm a BBA learner at Nexford University. I've started my journey with Nexford 1 year ago, so in March 2021. I'm currently doing the accelerated path, which means that I'm taking 3 courses at the same time. And I also work a full-time job as an international development consultant at PwC Switzerland. Oh yeah, and I'm from Geneva in Switzerland. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks a lot. Okay, Henry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Henry Fimibama. I'm from Nigeria, but I currently live and work in Alberta, Canada. I'm an MBA learner and taking on the specialization on artificial intelligence and the future of automation. I'm also a full-time worker with the government of Alberta, which is my province in Canada. And part of what I'm doing there is to help transform their ERP systems from a legacy one to a new one. And I'm happy to be here, my journey with Nexford.
Thanks a lot, Henry. Fun fact, guys, they both started in March 2021, coincidentally. But I mean, like, Henry's on an MBA and Tarshi's on a BBA, but they started at the same time. All right, so before we get started, guys, anyone who's still joining in, just to let you know, if you have any questions, please send them into the Q&A box so we can get to it at the end of the call. All right, and I've just shared my screen. Hopefully all of you can see it. So if you're already seeing it, I'm excited to share with you guys that we've recently partnered with Canvas as our new learning management systems. It's known to be adopted by top universities like Harvard and Oxford, and I'm sure our learners will agree that it's making for a much smoother online learning experience than what we had before as well. So let me show you today how it works, as well as some of its great features. So this is the homepage. As soon as you get enrolled at Nexford, you will have access to the online learning platform 5 days before your chosen program start date. And so that's around the same time that you would get your login credentials to be able to log into the online platform. At the same time, you're going to meet your dedicated or personal success advisor, which I'll tell you guys more about later on in the webinar to tell you what is a success advisor exactly. And so with that, as you can see, this is the homepage. Of course, I'm not an expert learner, but this is just to show you guys how it's going to look. So I've gone ahead and enrolled in a couple of courses. You're going to see that there's an orientation here, as well as 2 courses and something called a writing lab, which I'll also tell you guys about. So can you enroll in more than one course at the same time at Nexford? The answer is definitely yes, which is why you're seeing more than one thing in front of you right now. So while you can go at a sort of slow pace by going one course at a time, you definitely have the option to enroll in up to 4 courses at the same time and to be able to finish your Nexford program much faster. Before I jump into the courses as well as the orientation, let me just tell you about the basic features of the Canvas homepage here. So on the left side here, you're going to see the navigation pane. There are just a couple of quick buttons through which you can have an overview of your courses. As you can see, these are the ones that I'm supposedly enrolled in. You can jump right into your calendar. You can enter your inbox. Whereas that is the place where you can chat with other learners as well as professors and faculty members. There's a great history button as well to kind of quickly go through the things you've been visiting recently. And finally, LinkedIn Learning, our NXU library, as well as Success Scheduler, all of which are extra benefits and resources that I'm going to tell you guys about a little later on as well. Just quickly on the right side here is just a quick, to do. These are notifications that you're receiving that you may not have checked. For example, here, you're required to complete something. Here you've received an announcement or a drop-in session and so many other things. So this is a great little notification area. And most importantly, there's an Ask NXU tool here that I don't want you guys to forget about. It's really handy. In case you have any questions that you don't feel you necessarily need to reach out to our help team for, or your success advisor, you can simply click on that and then type in any question that you have. Sorry guys, it's lagging a bit on my end here. All right, no worries. I promise you it opens up pretty much quickly, but I think I have a lot of tabs open right now. There we go. So you might find some basic questions such as what is the grading system? Of course, you can type out your own questions as well, and then you'll get the best answer for that. If it still doesn't quite answer your question, that's okay. You'll find at the bottom usually who else you can reach out to, who you can email in the team to get more answers. You'll even find, some photos, things that'll make it even more helpful for you. All right, and most importantly, while we're looking at the online platform here, I want you guys to know as well that you can download a Canvas application on your mobile phone, which means you can study on the go as well. You don't only need a PC or a laptop, you can definitely also study on the go any time of the day, any time of the week. As long as, of course, you meet your deadlines, we'll tell you guys more about that little later on. But like I said, for example, for Android, you can download the Canvas student application and then log on to your Nexford platform and access your courses. This is the same, of course, as well for Apple. All right, I want to show you guys quickly the calendar. So as you can see, there are some items here that are optimized depending on what courses you're already enrolled in at Nexford. So let's say you're in a certain course like Roadmap to Success. You're going to find that there are items in the calendar that are automatically there depending on the assignments that you need to turn in. So they automatically get put into your calendar, which is a great help so that you know you need to complete these certain assignments by a certain time. You can definitely add your own items as well. You can even sync this on your mobile phone, especially if you have the mobile application, then you'll actually receive notifications for things on your calendar. Of course, you can sync the calendar like this. Right. And you'll see that there are slight differences in color. This is something you can control as well from the homepage. You'll see that these have different colors right here. If you just click on these 3 buttons, you can change the color. You can even change the overlay. If you choose to do color overlay, it's going to be much clearer what color it is. So these are just like fun features you can play with that can help you sort of in the calendar view as well as the homepage. And let me quickly show you guys the inbox. So here you're going to receive any sort of notifications, any shout outs from our faculty as well as our writing lab coach. Caroline Fernandez, you can, of course, compose a new message. You can choose to compose a message to somebody specific in a course that you're currently enrolled in. You can choose who that person is, of course. It can be a teacher, it can be a student. So it's a great place to definitely stay connected with anybody you want to. All right, and with that, just the final thing I'll say here about first getting introduced to the online platform is we're going to recommend for everybody during the orientation to introduce themselves to everybody. So you're going to find in every course at the top, there's an area you can click on, which will take you to our discussion forums. So these discussion forums are a great place for you to swap some ideas with other learners around the world. In the orientation, it's definitely a place for you to just introduce yourself in the beginning. As you can see, we have some tips for you, what you can share, you know, what you're currently doing, what you're studying, and all that. You can even put a photo. So we, this is of course just an example, but often we have a lot of people writing quite a big post about themselves, even putting their social media links. So you can make friends right from the beginning. All right, and now I want to quickly show you guys the orientation. So I've mentioned that a few times since the beginning of the call. What that is sort of your welcome package as soon as you get enrolled at Nexford. So it's not an official course, such as something that's included in the curriculum of the program that you've chosen. Rather, like I said, it's a welcome package. It only has 3 courses as opposed to 6 courses, which is the standard number of courses you're going to find in every course at Nexford. Modules, sorry, 6 modules. So this only has 3 modules. For example, you have 1, 2, 3, as well as a closing. So for every other course at Nexford, instead, you're going to find 6 modules as well as a final project. You can view it here. Right from the start, you're going to see there's a welcome message from our CEO and founder, Fadil Tarzi. I'd love to play that for you guys just for a few seconds.
It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact over a decade ago. On my entrepreneurial journey, I saw a gap between the skills of college graduates and the needs of employers. With my own startups, I struggled to find people with the right competencies. For example,
so that's just a little sneak peek for you guys. Definitely you can watch it in its entirety, hopefully once you enroll at Nexford. But you'll see right at the bottom of the course, right away, you can actually email the CEO directly, and that sort of comes to show how transparent I would say the Nexford team is. You'll always find a contact information for any team in Nexford, you know, whether it's marketing, it's the help team, our success team, our admissions team, you know, the tech team, and so on. So this includes as well as the CEO if you have any feedback. Always find that there's a video transcript, a written transcript that you can download for the videos that are included in all of your courses. All right, and as we go along, you'll find some, like I said, the orientation tells you everything you need to know. This includes how you can get connected with everyone technically in the organization as well as the learners. So we start off with these NXU Learning Communities, which are a great place. It's really helpful to join right from the start. You can, you know, attend study groups. It can even help you find career opportunities. This is all localized, one of our many offerings at Nexford. And it can truly help you with your career. Another option for you guys is, as you can see, this is sort of like a minimized view of the orientation. If you open it in a new tab, you can see a much more bigger view of it as well for those who would like to see things much more zoomed in. So like I said, there are these learner communities. You'll see that they have these different titles like Learner Roundtable. You can join an entrepreneur learning community if that's your area of interest, as well as finance. You'll find human resources, marketing. And of course, there are learner WhatsApp groups that I truly recommend that you guys join as well. So a lot of these are country specific. Some of them are program specific, and others are also intake specific. So let's say you've enrolled to start on April 1, you can join a WhatsApp group that's specific to learners just starting off in April 1 as well. And then we have peer mentors. So this is an amazing community as well. So these mentors are actually other Nexford learners. They're their sole, I think, priorities to help you throughout your program. Right, so that's a sneak peek of the orientation, guys. With that, I just want to let you know as well, once you start off a course, and let's say it's leadership and organizational development. When you get started, before you even start the course, you want to know who your course professor is. You'll find all of that information here. First of all, you'll see the same layout for every course that you have. So there's the announcements. You can have the overview of the modules that you have. If you jump into people, you'll see who is actually enrolled in the course as well as who your professor is. So for this one, it's actually Dr. Bill Reid, who is with us today. So I would love to turn this over to Dr. Bill, and he can tell us a bit about the course.
Hi, yes, thanks, Mike. Yeah, this is a typical course that you'll see in the programs that we offer. Again, as was mentioned, the information is on the left column here. You can go to the dashboard and see the information that is being presented. Also, on the top, you would see all your courses that you have that are available to you. And which course were we in? The 11 course, the leadership and organizational behavior. So this is how it would first appear when you open it. I'd like to spend a minute or two just going into a specific module so you see that what that would be like. Let's use the module 1 as an example. One of the things, and I saw one of the questions posted, was about the relevancy of the MBA to the 21st century business community. I think Mr. Fowler mentioned that in his opening comments, our CEO, about how the need of the workers was not in proportion to what was being delivered in programs. So that's really one of the founding missions of the university. And you'll see that here in the modules. This will give you where you'll be reading and what you'll be reading about, and then you'll go to the learning activities. Module 2 actually has an activity in it and an assignment you'll see here to demonstrate required case for change. You will open that up and that would be an actual assignment. In each course, you will have this very clearly mapped out for you and very clearly defined on what the objectives are, as you can see here. There are a lot of materials you can see and use to do this, but if you answer the questions that are laid out here, this one gives you 2 options of which way to approach this, but it would move forward in that way. What happens is you receive a schedule with each course, when things are due and when they're expected. You submit them and you receive feedback and a grade from your professor. The professor has a few days to review it. You use the information. One of the things I recommend strongly is that when you enter a course, you review the entire course when you first get access to it. So that way you can get the general feel of the course. Everyone has strong points. Everyone has less strong points, I'll call them. And you may see an assignment, you say, well, I'm going to have to spend a little extra time on that one. Or you may see one that say, hey, I know something about that already, and I might be able to get through it. So this is very self-paced. One of the things that I like to highlight, particularly in this course, and particularly with the Nexford approach, and that is that you will learn a lot about the material, but you'll learn a lot about yourself also, about your limits, about your expansions, about your comfort area, about where you don't want to go, but we kind of make you go there so you can learn a little bit more about the topics and the importance of them. Grading is done within a few days of the submission date, and you progress through the modules in that manner. You will see here in the grade book where you will have the outline of the course and the assignments that are scheduled to be received. And of course, this is a sample course, so it's no big deal here, but it'll outline that for you. The professor is available to you. We have I have a monthly, what is called a live session, where I meet with all the students I'm working with in all the programs. And we have an hour where we just ask questions and try to address your concerns. Other than that, we're available through information in the email in the course room. And we're available to have one-on-one meetings with you if you'd like to do that. I like them a lot personally. I have a couple today and I have 3 or 4 again tomorrow where I'm meeting one-on-one with the students to discuss your particular issues. These can be anything about the course, about your program, how to use your degree, about maybe a particular issue you're having in the course, something you're not quite understanding. So we're able to work through that. We have recently moved to this particular platform. This is called Canvas, and we moved from another one. The reason was for the ease of movement of around the platform and around the course. The main focus here is learning. And the objective here at Nexford is to remove as many obstacles to accomplishing that fact as possible. This particular platform, it's called, where the course is located, is very, at least to me, it's very easy to move around. When you first get into it, you're going to have to spend a little time. You're going to have to get familiar with it, learn where the buttons take you, where it goes. Even with every course and every course that I teach, whether you're brand new for Nexford or you're here a year, look the course over. Hit the buttons, figure out where it takes you, get familiar with the mechanics of the course. That makes learning the material so much easier. The assignments can be submitted, reviewed, and then you read your feedback. We also have some rules about the content, about how it should be written. We have some standards about that. These are international standards by APA, it's called, if you're not familiar with that. These are standards that are mostly used in business areas and so on. The purpose to me of you learning this degree is to improve yourself. The degree will open doors for you, but you still have to have the intelligence behind it. So that's the purpose of this. These are very, very focused courses, very specific targets in each course. You can read them. And your professor is really a key aid for you and a key tool for your personal use to learn as much as you can and how it implements in your own situations. So you see that here in the course. You have emails here, which you'll be receiving. You have courses, the overall dashboard in your account, of course, and it moves that way. Our courses are a few weeks. Everything's under 8 weeks, and you keep going on. I give you one piece of advice. Some people take multiple courses at a time. Some don't. That is a very personal decision based on your time, based on your availability, and how you write. You know, writing, these degrees are writing degrees. They're the nickname of them. So if you're a good writer, you'll do faster. If you need to improve in your writing, we have help for that also with our writing coordinator, Caroline Fernandez. And if you're a little challenged with writing at the beginning, we'll get you up to speed on that. Don't let that hold you back. It's perfectly fine. Many people do that. About half the students I come across have some issue with writing to an academic standard. So that's a quick overview of the course. And of course, I'll be around here later. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them later. But Maya, I'll turn this back to you now.
Great. Thanks a lot, Dr. With that, considering your advice that you gave about sort of studying at your own pace, I'd like to ask Tarshi a question here. If you can tell us a bit about your studying style with Nexford. How do you manage your study schedule around your life?
Thank you, May. So yes, so as already said earlier, I have a full-time job as a consultant in international development. And when I started my journey at Nexford University, I had a meeting with my superiors and my coach to establish some rules or some blockers that I can implement in my calendar. If, by example, on Tuesdays and Thursdays after 4, I do not take any meetings, and this is the time that I allocate to study. This means that I will also have other days where I will work a bit more and try to balance everything together. I do understand and I do realize that some courses might take bigger effort or much time than others. So I try to be as flexible as possible and as proactive as possible. I know that some courses I already have some knowledge in it, so I will take less time, and others that are fully new, so I will spend a bit longer time to get familiar with and to be available to complete the course and the assignments in due time. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot for sharing, Tarshi. Okay, so considering assignments and assessment feedback, I want to share my screen with you guys again. Right. So I mentioned to you guys earlier just about our success advisors, right? So these success advisors are sort of like our mentors throughout, the Nexford learners mentors throughout the program. You can reach out to them if you're facing any challenges, if you have any questions about your program. And most importantly, you find the success scheduler right at the bottom here of the homepage. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a booking page where you can book a one-on-one session with any success advisor. So this can be the success advisor that you have actually been assigned as soon as you're enrolled at Nexford. So of course, since you're going to meet them 5 days before your chosen program start date, you're already going to know who that is. So you can search for them here, or you can choose any other success advisor depending on the availability. So let's say I want to speak with somebody on the 31st. Let's say I've chosen Jamie Beth, just pick a timing, put in your details, and then that's it. We'll have booked a 30-minute call for sort of an advising session with this success advisor. So this is one of the many ways you can speak to our success team. Of course, you'll find each of our teams also have a designated email address you can send any questions to. You're going to have all that information. It's going to be all included in your orientation once you get enrolled. Aside from that, of course, like I mentioned before, there's the inbox. So you can also send them a quick direct message as well. It's one of the best ways that you can communicate with them. And I just want to ask a question then for Henry here. If you can just tell us some notable things about your experience with assessments and assignment submissions, as well as professor feedback.
Okay, thanks for that. For me, it all starts from the modules, where each module talks about what you stand to benefit from the course. And I'd like to use my favorite, which is BUS 6070, Leadership and Organizational Change. They have guiding questions that along the line, if you go down the module, you start to answer those questions and you clearly see how it can benefit you, down the line, or if you're at work. For me, being a technical analyst that's in the last 2 years worked on multiple projects where we deal with changing technology from an old or legacy system to a new one, it's really helped me a lot. One of the key things, in the assessments is having case studies that aren't like other learning organizations I've attended, very proprietary, if I could say. For this one, it's structured in a way where you could use experiences from wherever you're from. I recall, in one of the modules where we're supposed to pick a business, and it was left open. Okay, if you're in Nigeria, pick a business that's local to your area in Nigeria. Let's say you're in Abuja, for example. For myself, I could relate to Tim Hortons, which is a brand similar to Starbucks, but here in Canada. So that flexibility is, for me, it's impressive. It doesn't leave students, scratching their head where you just have a case study that's talking about General Motors, for example, and not everyone can relate. So I love that style. Also, for the assessment, one that comes to mind for me is change in the organization, and it really resonated with me, and I like to talk a bit about it. Where you talk about risk of not taking action, impact of change to an organization, and what are benefits of those of the change. So I love how the assessments are done. I love how the module goes from introducing a particular topic and to how it reinforces learning in you. For submission, we've mentioned that we have a new tool, the Canvas. Basically, submission is having to do the assignments. Sometimes we have templates that we need to fill. Other times we need to write executive summaries or a memo, whichever format that comes in. If you're struggling with writing, like Dr. Reid mentioned, I found the writing lab very beneficial. So whatever form it comes in, I submit, and feedback from the professor actually guides you to if you're on the path that is expected. I've also found that every professor has their own style. I've had scenarios where the focus is on making sure everything you've referenced, because we need to do references, and in Nexford, I think we adopt the APA style, to ensure that everything that's being referenced also points to, your body of work to show where it was from. So, that feedback sort of, helps us along the way. And if you adhere to whatever style your professor is comfortable with early on, you find that it helps you overall. So, that's my take from the assessment style, submissions, and feedback from the professor. It helps me.
Thanks so much, Henry. That's some great insider insights for everybody. And since you spoke a lot about assignments and how these cases for change, for example, are quite relevant to the world that we currently live in, I would love if Dr. Bill, if you could just jump in for a minute and just tell us a bit about this case for change, specifically how the grading rubric is like, how people can figure that out.
Yes, okay, the grading rubric. One of the best ways to use the grading rubric is to read it before you answer your assignment. It is really the roadmap to answering the assignments in each of the modules. So that's really the first comment I'd have about the grading rubric. Secondly, the grading rubric contains a number of criteria, 4, 5, 6, 7, and those criteria are established to meet the objectives of the learning of that module, of that assignment. So by reading it ahead of time, you're really seeing how I'm going to look at, or any other professor is going to look at, that assignment and what we're expecting to see. So you will see, as Maya is putting on the screen right now, the various levels of the assessment. This one has 4, the left being the best way you could address the issue of depth of the analysis. And it says here, it was done in detail and so on. Then there's a little lesser level. And then at the end, if you didn't do it at all. So each of these criteria would ultimately add up to your grade in that particular assignment. The plus, aside from the actual rubric itself, you'll receive a narrative from the faculty member, also an overall commentary on the assignment that you submitted. So by using this to create your answer as your roadmap, as your guide for your answer, and then getting the feedback from the faculty member really helps you understand the concepts that were expected to be delivered in that particular assignment, the learning outcomes, and how it can work to your benefit, what it can mean to you in the learning process. If you have questions about this, you can ultimately, send a note back to your professor and say, you graded me this way, and you said this, but I really still don't understand it. Then you go further into it to explain what the professor was thinking of when he responded versus he or she responded versus what you were trying to say in your answer. So it's really a key component of the learning process in each of the assessments and each of the assignments.
Okay, thank you so much. And so that's to give you guys a bigger idea about, the grading rubric as well as the assignments. Definitely, like Dr. Bill said, read the rubric so you know what's expected of you for every assignment. And as you can see, when I shared at the bottom, you'll see that you'll receive, very specific comments, I would say, from the professors, for any professor of the course that you're enrolled in. So you know exactly in what area you need to improve. So aside from all the professor help, you also get, help from the success team. And so I'd like to hear more from Tarshi about the success team support. How have you found it so far during your learning journey? Have you been able to reach out to fellow learners sometimes instead to help?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, May. So yeah, I've been in touch with the success advisor team through email and through advising session, as you mentioned earlier. So at the beginning, they were super helpful to guide me through the content and the learning style to adapt and to best tackle the universities, the key challenges from my end. and how I could improve the challenges that I was facing at that moment. And then when I wanted to add more courses, when I wanted to integrate, because of course, Nexford University, you cannot start straight away with 4 courses. You will have to start with 1 and then 2, and then just add up. So I started with 1 course, and then I felt comfortable adding 1 more. So I did have a session with a success advisor to check out the option that I have and to understand what does that mean. If I want to add 1 more course, what does it take for me to do that? Am I on the right way? Is it something that they would encourage me to do it or not? So that was super helpful. And also on a personal note, I recently got married. I got married in September 2021. So when I was planning my wedding, I did have sessions to know if I would be able to pause my studies at a specific time, or what would be the options that were in front of me. So they've said that I could pause my studies for 1 month, and that's what I did. So I could enjoy my wedding and the time that was before and after the wedding session. So that was really nice to have that support throughout the journey. And the second part of the question was if I had some experience from other learners, like how I did encounter some experience with them. So as I already mentioned, there are many WhatsApp groups that are available to us. So I did contact the Success Advisor team to get those WhatsApp groups and to check what would be the best fitting for me. So I'm part of 3 WhatsApp group, 1 for the Europe region and others 2 that are for BBA students, BBA learners. And there we could just share experience, ask questions, try to connect with each other if you have any specific queries, because as you know, we did start Nexford University or a degree every month. So there are students that are ahead of us, those others that are maybe a bit after us. So we can just share our experience and share best practices and lesson learned that we did have throughout their journey at Nexford University. So yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot for sharing, Tarshi. So through these WhatsApp groups, or maybe through other means, through the Nexford Learning platform, Henry, have you had the chance maybe to make any Nexford learner friends around the world?
Oh, the answer to that, Mai, is yes. And this happened in a funny way. In the writing lab I attended with Fernandez, learning about writing styles, APA formatting and all of that. I met someone. I think I sort of recognized the name, and I reached out, and I learned that there were WhatsApp groups. I had no idea that they were by country, whatever criteria were used to distinguish them at the time. But I got added to the group, and I can tell you it's been beneficial. I've made 2 friends, Daba and Jumoke. And one of the ways this helped me was to be able to speak to any of these friends, when you have like certain doubts. I've had cases where I found broken links, on the platform. They weren't actually broken. As I learned later, there were browser problems. I would not have known that if I didn't actually reach out. And also as an IT professional, I did struggle with reading financial statements, reaching out to, my friend, to speak to her about this problem, revealed new things to me, how to access the notes underneath each financial statement. As an MBA learner, it's really important to me to know how to do that. So it's been beneficial for learners that just started, and for people considering that as well. I would say when you get on board, make that one of the things you'd like to accomplish, to have friends, to share different perspectives. So I'll say yes, I've made 2 friends, and it's been helpful having them, to speak to.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that, Henry. Like you mentioned about the writing lab, I'd like to show you guys what the writing lab is all about. So you'll have noticed in the homepage that the writing lab is always going to be there. So this is not a course that you specifically get enrolled in at Nexford. It's a resource that's always there, and it's because we know that not everybody is a natural writer, and precisely for the kinds of assignments you might be getting throughout your program, you might be asked to write in a certain format that you are unfamiliar with, such as APA formatting. So Writing Lab basically helps you with everything from your academic writing to improving your English skills to figuring out things like the APA formatting and much more. So through here, you'll meet Caroline Fernandez, who we've mentioned a few times, is our Writing Lab coach. You can book a one-on-one meeting with her in a very similar fashion like you can, with the Success Scheduler, with the Success team. If you click here, it'll take you to this, personal booking page to also book a 30-minute call with Caroline, anytime that suits you both. And so to go back to the Writing Lab, also Henry mentioned, that you can join these drop-in sessions with other learners. So aside from the one-on-one, another option that you have, you'll always find in the announcement section. Caroline is always announcing that she is holding these group sessions that you can join. So these live calls, in case you've missed them, you'll also find that she even puts the recording. So you'll have the option to actually check out the recording for it. You'll find that each one has specific, topics, I would say. So these are great. Sometimes they're joined by anywhere from 20 to maybe 80 learners at the same time. It's a great way to get connected with other learners in the community and the Nexford community from around the world, to hear different ideas. It might be more useful sometimes than booking just the one-on-one sessions. And as I mentioned, as you can see here, we had a successful drop-in session with 85 full students in the call. So I really recommend these as well. So these are just one of the many benefits and resources you get access to as a Nexford learner. Another thing I would say is LinkedIn Learning. So this is something that also helps you in your career, as well as, of course, studying. So alongside your Nexford program, you actually get access to over 16,000 LinkedIn Learning videos and courses at no extra cost to you. So this is completely unlimited. It's a great way to learn other, skills in other areas, perhaps that's maybe not necessarily related to the program that you've enrolled in. Otherwise, you'll find that some of these are already embedded in the Nexford program that you're in. You'll see that, we'll kind of add them inside your modules to be like, okay, if you want to take an extra certificate, if you want to, do some further learning on this specific topic, watch this video or take this course. And then, of course, after that, you would actually receive a certificate of completion, which you can add to your social media profiles, to your CV. It's a great way to show your, employer or perhaps your community that you are learning on the go. You're not just waiting to, complete your program. So aside from those, you'll also see that this is not for all of the courses in Nexford, but for some of them, you receive a digital badge upon completion. So they'll have these fun names like data-driven decision maker, see financial decision supporter. So, while our learners love getting these, perhaps the community you're sharing it to might not necessarily know what this entails, right? So what you can do is if you click on that, anybody can click on it and it'll take you to this page with a little more information about, what the earning criteria was, what skills and knowledge did you actually gain in order to receive this digital badge. You'll even find that some of our learners make it a hobby to sort of collect these. It's sort of a great pat on the back, I would say. And aside from that, we have a whole lot of career services that can help you throughout your program and even after graduation. So through this career services portal, one of which, of course, is the offering of LinkedIn Learning, but you also get other things. So for example, if you're taking our MBA, your first career planning session will be during your third month learning with us. So right from the start, we are helping you get career focused. We're helping you definitely, get much farther, I would say, in your career. And if you're based in Africa, aside from LinkedIn Learning, you will also get access to IBM Digital Nation Africa with no extra cost. I would say it's more focused on AI and cybersecurity and programming. So it's definitely for the more of those, tech fanatics. And like I mentioned, LinkedIn Learning, right on the top here, you'll also find localized. So this is one of our many offerings where you can get connected with career mentors and coaches around the world. You can join virtual job fairs. It's another great platform where you can create your own, sort of portfolio and get connected with other people. All right, and finally, there is also the Global Grid. So we actually just recently launched this brand new initiative called the Global Grid. It's a mentorship program to enable talent around the world to prepare for remote jobs. There are webinars and exclusive group mentoring sessions that are only open to NXU learners, but then also our mentors, just to let you know, are handpicked for their industry expertise, and they work in companies, such as Samsung and Coca-Cola. So definitely recommend you guys check this out. Anybody can check this out from now. So like I said, some of these are exclusive for Nexford learners, such as the group mentoring sessions, but we also hold, a lot of live webinars you can join as well. This is another one of the many offerings. We also have Forage. So if you haven't heard of Forage, it's, we've partnered with them. It's a career resource to get virtual work experience at real companies. So this is like, JP Morgan, Accenture, and it's a free resource that complements your learning as you get to apply skills you learn. Plus, they can choose you can choose to share your task submissions with recruiters, which can lead to interview opportunities as well. So yeah, for internships. So this is quite amazing. Definitely you guys check this out as well. All right. Please guys remember, because we are about to jump to our FAQ, our Q&A section, where we're going to take some questions at the end of the call. So please make sure to send them in. If you have any questions, make sure to send them in there in the Q&A box, not the chat, so we can make sure to get to your questions. Great. So with that, I just want to finally ask a question for Tarshi here. If you can just tell us a bit about your Nexford learning journey so far, and what were some of your favorite parts, and I guess what were some of your challenges as well?
Sure, May, thank you. So my learning journey at Nexford has been wonderful so far. I mean, from the beginning, it helped me learn more about myself, because throughout the first course, I think Roadmap to Success, you will identify your key features on like how do you study, what kind of learner you are, and this helped me understand the path I should be taking to succeed at Nexford University. For example, I've identified myself as a visual learner, so I did implement qualities such as taking notes or going through the video section, because at Nexford University, the course, we always have videos that are complementary or supporting the course content, and we do have a stop and think sessions where we can apply the content that we just learned. So this has been really amazing, and I enjoyed every bit of all the courses that I've taken so far. Also, I appreciate having direct contact through Canvas or through MS Teams or through WhatsApp that I can have with fellow learners or professors or teaching assistants. Because as I've already said during one of other session, even if this is an online university, we have that feeling that someone is always behind the screen. I mean, you are not on your own, everyone is still there. And I know that it sounds a bit funny, but it's like the world never stops. I mean, no one never sleeps, because as you might have seen, everyone is here and we are all from different time zones, from different spaces from around the world. So we are always here. You can always find someone to support you, to give you a moral support or moral boost that you need at any time. So yeah, it has been really, really nice. And to be honest, I can't think of any challenges that I faced so far. So sorry, Mary, I'm disappointing you in that, but sorry.
That's amazing. That's a disappointment I'll take very happily. So I'm very glad to hear that. All right. So I'd also like to ask Henry here, what would you say, or how would you say your Nexford program has changed your life so far since you started?
Okay, so for me, it's made a lot of experiences at work more relatable. It does help that I'm doing something that currently aligns with what I am today as an IT professional. So it's always been a dream of mine to develop an app. It's helpful when you know someone from your city that's developed something, using AI. There's an app called Ubenwa today that helps detect child asphyxiation, within minutes of the baby being born, just by recording the voice of that baby into a mobile app. From Port Harcourt, Nigeria, coming to the global stage and having something this significant, it's revolutionized the way that technology helps a disease. So for me, this, learning at Nexford and taking on this specialization, it's made me dream again. It's something I would want to do tomorrow, to build an app in any genre or field. It could be health informatics, it could be something different, but it's something I'm really looking forward to. So I'm happy that that dream, is still in here. It's giving me a voice. Now I can speak on a whole lot of things. I've been talking today about change management. Which is what I engage in all the time. Change is one of the most difficult things to accomplish within an organization because of pushback, from members of staff used to, one way of doing things and all. So, this has really, really, really helped me. And it's made me also a change advocate. I run a YouTube channel. One of the things I do, one of the extracurricular activities I engage in, and, what I get most of the time from people that need mentorship are people seeking to change profession from, let's say, accountancy, for example, to IT, and this is something that has now gone mainstream because of COVID, or due to COVID, one of the main reasons, why a lot of people are considering changing, what they do. So, this is one of the ways Nexford has changed my life, talking to people and helping them make that switch, whether it's from doing chemistry, for example, to business analysis or to software development. So I'm really thankful.
Okay, that's incredible. Thanks a lot, Henry. I'll definitely ask you for that YouTube link after the webinar. That sounds amazing.
All right.
Can you just give us final advice for current and aspiring Nexford learners?
Oh yeah, so if you're thinking of joining, please do not hesitate. For me, I'll tell you how it happened. It happened during the transition phase from one job to another. We know how COVID changed a lot of things in the world. At the time, it was February of 2021. And I spoke to an old friend and he told me how he was, killing time. We laughed about it, but he wasn't actually killing time. He got engaged with Nexford. So he did a recommendation and someone reached out to me, I'm sure from the success team. And, we took it from there. I enrolled in the course and, I started seeing things I could relate to, like I mentioned in the past, how the program changed my life. So if anyone is thinking of it, and let's be honest, we have people from different parts of the world. One of the things I'll highlight is that learning at Nexford is very affordable. Yes, when you read online, you see that it's for profit, but that's not what really drives the program. What really drives the program is to make sure learning is affordable and you get great benefit from it, which I've gotten so far, and I've gotten the same, testimony from a lot of other learners that I relate with.
Well, that's great advice. Thanks a lot, Henry. I'd love to hear from you as well, Tarshi, if you can have any final advice for current and aspiring learners.
Sure, thank you. So I'm on the same page as Henry said, just hop on the train, because when I was thinking about joining Nexford University earlier 2021, it took me quite a bit of time to make sure that this is what I wanted to do. So my coach at PwC just told me, the time that you spend thinking of it or waiting for the right moment, there's no right moment in life. You have to make it happen. So just hope in it and try to balance with everything. You have to make the time to do it. So just go for it, because it's really flexible and you can adapt easily. So don't hesitate, just start the journey. I mean, April 1st, I would say.
It's amazing. Thanks a lot, Toshi. All right, guys. Well, we've just about finished our webinar here, which means we can jump right into the Q&A section and answer some questions you guys have been sending in. So if you still haven't sent in your question, please make sure to send it to the Q&A section or the Q&A box so we don't miss your question. We have a good question here. It says, can the BBA be completed in less than 4 years? So just for those who don't know, we have a Bachelor of Business Administration. That's our BBA degree program, which Tarshi is currently studying. It's one of our 3 degree programs on offer right now. And it takes on average 4 years to complete. That would be 48 months. But like I said, that's an average. And what does that mean? It's because you can study at a sort of flexible pace at Nexford. You know, it's not 100% self-paced, because you would still need to meet certain deadlines. You would need to make sure, you know, you turn in your assignments on time, you complete certain modules on time. But, you know, every course throughout your program, you can complete it in less than the average 2 months. So each course is designed to take you 8 weeks to complete. You can definitely finish it in 1 month. And if you start to take more than one course at the same time, that can allow you to finish faster, which is why we have already some BBA graduates, you know, some Nexford alumni that have taken the BBA and have completed it in just 2 years. So it's definitely doable for you to complete it in less than 4 years. It depends on a lot of things, of course. I think, you know, your dedication as well as your schedule and so much more. All right, we have an anonymous question here. Are there any lawyers enrolled in the AI MBA? So that would be the MBA in Advanced AI, the Future of Automation, which is one of the MBA specializations that we offer. This would be a difficult question for me to answer if we have any lawyers enrolled in that. But I would suggest for you a great thing that you can do is you can jump onto our Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group that's completely run by learners. It's called Nexford Network. So definitely look that up. You can join there. You'll see some, you know, like existing Nexford learners already, as well as some alumni. You can just drop your question there. You might find some people telling you like, hey, I'm actually a lawyer, yes, and I'm studying at Nexford. So that's one of the great options. You could also jump onto LinkedIn and search for those that have, you know, marked their program or, you know, their education as Nexford, and also speak with those. All right, we have a question here. What happens when you miss assignment deadlines? Can you retake course assignments if unsatisfied with the grade/score? Dr. Bill, can you please answer this for us?
The issue of retaking the assignments is been one we've been talking about quite a bit lately. In fact, the general thing is we try to make you do it right the first time. That's what we have all the support for, and we focus on that. But there are situations, for example, errors in submissions or wrong files being submitted or something like that, which certainly you can work with your professor to rectify. That's permitted. The issue also extends to late assignments. For reasons we can permit late assignments to be submitted. Again, this is now handled through the professor of the class. It doesn't have to go through the success team, or doesn't have to go through IT. This can be handled directly with the professor of your class. I would put an asterisk on this and saying there's some talk about redoing this policy to change things, perhaps next month or the following month, but that's still not been decided. But to answer those questions directly, yes, there's a way to do that, and you work that out with your professor.
Exactly. So definitely, you know, reach out to your professor. Also, you can reach out to the success team as soon as you have, you know, any worries about the assignment that you've submitted. You want to redo it, you'll always find that our team is right there to help you, and they'll always know who else you can speak to in order to solve the challenge that you're having. All right. Okay, we have another anonymous question here. Would you encourage learners with over 20 years of work experience to enroll in the MBA? This is such a fantastic question, especially because we have quite a lot of learners as well that have that many years of experience, and they're actually taking our MBA. And the main reason I would say that definitely still go for it is because Nexford, you know, is designed, you know, the curriculum, especially for the MBA as well, is designed quite differently than other MBAs you might find around the world right now. This is because the job skills that you learn at Nexford are designed to prepare you to apply for jobs or advance in the job that you already have. You know, while we can't say what job you'll get for certain, we're here to help you, of course, reach your career goals. And just to let you know, like to find out what employers want, we actually asked them. We interviewed, you know, Fortune 500 leaders who employ 2.5 million people around the world. And we actually used AI to survey 30 million job openings. So that way we teach you the skills you know, that you need for the jobs that you actually want. So I would definitely say go for it. If you're having any doubt, just email our team at help@nexford.org if you have any more questions. You can also WhatsApp our team of advisors. So you'll find all that contact information on our website as well. And I think, Henry, if you have any input for that question as well, being an MBA learner yourself, I would love that. And I think it would answer a second question we have here as well. Somebody actually asked, please, how relevant is your MBA program to a 21st century business, given the many innovations, particularly in Fintech? So I would love to hear from you, Henry, and perhaps Dr. Bill as well, if you guys can have some insight, you know, from the insider insight, I would say, from the MBA.
Okay, so I have over 10 years of work experience, almost 15. So I would say yes, you can still get to do an MBA and especially pick a specialization. And it's what I've done. You shouldn't have you know, any limitations, you know, when you're trying to do this. Like I say, I try to push myself. I've switched, you know, a lot in my career, from software development to moving to Canada and deciding to focus only on data, and now, you know, wanting to go back again to software development, but with a focus on artificial intelligence. So you can do anything. You know, I've had friends, you know, accountants that were accountants before, but they switched to IT and today are senior business analysts. And, you know, being a BA, you know, it's not rocket science. You're not programming or anything. It's a role where a lot of transferable skills can be applied, you know. So I find that you can always pivot from one role to another. Most times what people need is just someone, you know, who's been there and done that, to talk to them about their experience and let them know they can do these things, you know. And in terms of technology, the same advice applies. I feel you can do anything as well. What I find works for me is moving into a new field. I take a look at what it takes actually to get from point A to point Z, or from 0 to 10, and how, you know, people who've done it before always do. I find that one of the best learning resources for me is YouTube. I always go there and do a ton of research, and you see average people, or so-called average people, because of, you know, imposter syndrome. People always believe they're average, but they've got a lot in them. So you get to see people that call themselves average, just because they've gone through certain things in life, you know, do whatever it is they want to do. So my advice to anyone is, you know, make up your mind, pick up what you want to, and try and network. You know, LinkedIn is there for that. Social media, if you use it the best way you can, reach out to people. You can see my name here. You can always check me out on LinkedIn, and send a message if you think anything I've said here will help your journey, if you're looking to go back to learning after you know, a number of years. So yeah, that's my advice.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Henry, for that. We have a lot of questions here regarding different programs such as law. We have nursing, aviation. So a lot of people are asking if we provide these programs. So just to be clear, at the moment, we only provide business programs. So these are 3 business related or business and administration degree programs, as well as short certificates and courses. So I recommend you go to our website to know exactly what we're currently offering. Having said that, we are definitely taking suggestions for the future. We're keeping note of that. We do plan on adding new programs in the future. When exactly that will be is not clear at the moment, but definitely, you know, don't hesitate to send in your questions about these to our team, because we definitely take in these suggestions. We also have we have Noabata saying, are there employment opportunities for students at Nexford? Okay, so actually we have a jobs portal if you're looking to actually join our team. So that's one thing. You can check, what job openings we currently have available. You can find that information on our website, or you can actually just call us or WhatsApp us on this number. I'll send it right now on the chat. So please feel free to WhatsApp us on there. You'll find a team of advisors that are happy to speak with you and answer your question regarding that. So that's if you wish to join our team. If instead you're looking for employment opportunities studying, so we do have some scholarship opportunities right now, as well as work study scholarships. You can find out about that on our website as well. So this allows you to study with us as well as intern at a specific company or a bank or something, that depends on the current partnership that we have that's allowing us to have this scholarship opportunity. Okay, we have Gideon asking, must I finish a course before enrolling a new one if I'm doing an MBA? It depends. Like, yes, you would need, let's say you've enrolled, because all of our courses start at the first of each month. So if you've already decided to just take on one course, as soon as the month has started, you won't be able to take on another course because you would need to have already decided before the beginning of that month. But can you take more than one course or even up to 4 courses in the following month? Definitely. Just let our team know right away. But if you happen to finish this one course before the 2 months, so if you finished it in the first month, then right away in the next month, you can definitely take another course. You don't have to wait out the 8 weeks in order to add another course. I hope that answers your question. I know we're running a little over here, so if anybody has been joining us, has some other appointment or something, and you're worried and you need to dash off, don't worry. This is being recorded, so we're gonna send this to you. As long as you've registered for the webinar, you'll also find it uploaded on our YouTube. Very soon, maybe by tomorrow or the day after. So don't worry, you can watch this whole webinar back as well in case you missed anything or in case you joined late or need to leave early. We have an amazing question here. Toba is asking, can I have Henry's personal contact? I would say, can you email our team at help@nexford.org as well, and we'll get in touch with you, of course. If Henry's okay with that, then definitely that can be something we can do. All right, let's see, let's take just a few more questions and then we'll need to end it here today. But just to let you all know, just like this webinar was about, the Nexford online learning platform and the Nexford learning experience, I also hold these one-on-one tours, which are much shorter, I would say from 15 to 30 minutes, but you can book them with me also. You'll find a link on the website where you can book a one-on-one session just like this one, and then you can share whatever questions you have. I'll be more than happy to help. Other than that, you'll find a lot of other ways to contact our team to share the questions that you have. Okay, last question here. Let me take, this question's repeated quite a bit. Are we guaranteed job opportunities with different organizations after studying with Nexford University? So if it isn't something like an interning opportunity or a work study scholarship where even those, it is an opportunity, which means you're given the chance to possibly intern with that specific organization. But we cannot promise jobs. We're here to give you the skills and the knowledge that you're seeking in order to advance in the career that you're currently in, or to sort of reach your career goals or get a certain job. But we certainly cannot guarantee which jobs exactly you're going to be able to get. That is completely up to you. But through our career services portal, you'll see that we have a ton of ways to guide you and to help you with that. You'll also have a career advisor and all of these career mentorings, which you'll see that can help you to know how to craft your CV, how to prepare for interviews, and so much more. And through the things like Forage and the Global Grid that I've mentioned throughout the webinar, definitely if this is being, if you can watch this back, you'll see the information that I said about that. You can see it on our website and you'll see how those can help you hopefully get the job that you want. But like I said, again, we cannot specifically promise the exact jobs. Okay, last question here. How do we get our physical certificates and how is the graduation process like for people living in Nigeria? So this is a great question. So especially because just recently we are excited to announce that we are holding our first physical graduation ceremony in Washington, D.C. This should be by July 30 this year. You can email our team to learn more information about this. So just to be precise though, these are for Nexford learners that are graduating before July. If not that, we have actually also held a graduation ceremony in select countries around the world before, including Nigeria. So definitely this is also in the works. I'm sure we're gonna hold another ceremony in Nigeria as well as soon as we get the chance. We've had one in Egypt, so we also plan to do virtual graduation ceremonies, if not this year, next year. So just email our team. We'll give you all the information you need for that, and we'll definitely help you out, hopefully. And if not through these graduation ceremonies, we also hold physical events sometimes around the world. All right, guys, thank you so much for all of the lovely questions we got today. A lot of people are very curious about many different areas. I really enjoyed the questions. In case you have any more, please don't hesitate to WhatsApp us on the number that I shared on the chat. You can also email our team at help@nexford.org. We're more than happy to help you and answer any questions you have. We hope if you've been having any doubts that this session today has helped you and that you'll start learning with us in the April 1 intake. All right, thanks a lot, Tarshi and Dr. Bill and Henry for joining me as well today. Thanks a lot, guys. Everybody have a good day or a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.